Ciao ragazzi, hi guys, welcome back to another video. How you doing? Zamo here today for a new video. In today's video we're gonna talk about Stone Island. My favorite brand ever, the best brand ever, my mug with some iced tea, maybe there's some sambuca in it. We got the Zamo sign, we got the big Stone Island badge and the pizza under it. So finally we're gonna address Stone Island. I'm just gonna talk briefly about Stone Island's story, then I'm gonna talk about my story with the brand, collecting and my experience, then I'm gonna through my biggest regrets and what's currently in my collection. So I'm super looking forward to it. By the way guys, if you're not subscribed yet, join the Spaghetti Army, that's the name of our community. If you're a spaghetti soldier, thank you. Extra how you doing for yourself. Every week we publish video, we talk fashion, we talk design, always in a nice and helpful way. So it really means a lot. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, so that's amazing. Thank you for your follow, thank you for your like, and join the Spaghetti Army. In today's video, we're gonna talk about Stone Island simply because I would say that Stone Island is the first brand that really brought me into fashion. I hold it dearly, I have a big collection, I always follow the new developments, I have like some books that I like to use as an archive. Overall, it's really part of like my journey of who I am and what I like to wear. I think that, you know, of course, also having worked for CP Company, I worked for CP Company for 3 years in the past, recently, so that also helped me put myself again in contact with the design world, that high quality production processes in Italy. So that's also very interesting. If you're talking about Stone Island story-wise, I'm just gonna keep it super brief. I'm actually planning a video about Massimo Osti more in detail to go through all the processes. But just like to make it super easy for you guys, Stone Island was founded in 1982 by Massimo Osti, an Italian creative who was revolutionizing the sportswear and had from the beginning a focus on high reactive materials, particular materials, special materials. The idea was to make something unique that stood out for the color, for the material, for the process, and something that really took you by surprise and you were like, damn, what the heck is that? That was the story from the beginning, so really small batches, garment dyed, ice reflective, use of very delicate material like the raso gommato, the Jock 23, coming from the military inspiration to processes, you know, for example, think about the Tela Stella. The brand really took off, and that's like the first phase, very experimental, very fun, with a lot of materials breaking, but overall just looking at these pieces and be like, damn, what the fuck is that, you know? Consider it's the 80s, so like, economic success is and materialism is really involving Italian society. And that, of course, variated towards the 90s. In the 90s, we have the Rivetti family that comes over and help expand the commercial success. This is the era in which Stone Island really starts becoming popular, starts becoming international. It's the year of the football hooligans and, of course, the broadening of the company itself. Massimo Osti leaves the company. He's actually fired. And then Stone Island becomes really like more of a commercial success from thank you to the Rivetti family. Rivetti family who took over the brand in the late 90s, early 2000s. In these years, the brand is led by Paul Harvey, an American British designer who really takes Massimo's ideas and innovation and transforms them into practical military-inspired garments. That's the years in which, from 2000 onwards, the badge is not green edge anymore, but just like a classic badge, and the brand really becomes international, becomes broadly recognized. A key year is 2012. Of course, that's like 30 years. There is a big exhibition in Leopoldo in Firenze, and the brand starts taking off. And then you have the latest phase. So after years of commercial success, expansion to the US, expansion to Tokyo, think about, for example, 2016. Then the brand in 2022 becomes acquired by the Moncler group, and then it's in the third phase, which is the luxury mogul. So now Stone Island is a ginormous brand who's making steps towards luxury. The brand was always expensive, but right now is getting expensive and limited. I mean, that's the direction they're going for. And this is where Stone Island is right now. So luxury brand, part of the Moncler group with a beautiful story of history and design, international, but with like a lot of roots in different subcultures. That's Stone Island right now. I said subculture because I think that one of the things that really makes Stone Island stand out is the recognizability. Once you see somebody wearing like a specific kind of Stone Island piece, you can put them in a place. Subcultures, of course, were very important at the beginnings. You had the Paninari, which were like the Italian kids in the 1980s who, compared to the previous generation, cared a lot about their appearance, and they were wearing American brands, they were wearing colorful brands like El Charro, like Moncler, like Best Company, like Stone Island. They were wearing expensive, colorful clothing while hanging out, having a panino, which Italian lesson of the day, means sandwich. That, of course, mitigated towards other subcultures. Most relevantly, in the 1990s, 2000, it was the hooligans, group of unemployed, disgruntled British men were traveling. Their social activity was, of course, beating each other up. Their like kind of social moment was football, was groups, was belonging, to crowds, football fans who were then getting rid of their social pressure, beating each other up. So Stone Island was part of the brands which hooligans on away games all over Europe used to steal and bring back, and became really like a working class hooligan staple. So like, okay, I make this salary, but then I can't afford a 3-month salary jacket because Stone Island was always expensive, and it was really standing out in the casual culture that also associated wearing expensive brands, functionality, recognizability, and really become part of that aesthetic. In the meanwhile, of course, Stone Island was always worn by normal people who really enjoyed it, especially once the collection widened. Then, of course, other subculture kind of came along. Think about, for example, the rave culture, the party culture, rap scene, and they kind of, overlapped each other. The third main step in terms of like cultural icon for Stone Island was, of course, the rapper phase in the mid 2010s, so 2014, 15, 16. Stone Island was worn a lot by Drake, which back then was really like the biggest artist in the world. He started rocking vintage pieces, was wearing Stone Island for a full tour, which is the Boy Meets the World tour. And then, of course, Stone Island became a sensation. Again, as I mentioned, opening of the Tokyo store in 2016, a lot of openings in Los Angeles, in New York, and then the brand really took off. And those, I would say, are like some subculture that are important to associate with Stone Island. There is many more, but I really like how it always had a significance. It's not necessary, but it's something interesting. Yeah. If instead I have to talk about my personal story, I was always low-key interested into fashion, but I never find an outlet up until, of course, when I was older. I remember in 2011, I was like 17 years old. 2012, I was looking at some newspapers, like football newspapers, and they had like advertisement of Stone Island on them, like these very serious-looking models with like this big coat. And I actually thought Stone Island was a British brand, right? I didn't know they were Italian. And then in 2012, the watershed moments, two things happened. One, I watched the movie Green Street Hooligans. In this movie, with Charlie Hunnam, with Elijah Wood, of course, it's a depiction of like some crews in the UK of hooligans. I watched this movie in high school, and I get amazed by like the jacket the main character is wearing, the overall vibe, toughness, macho. And I was like, okay, maybe that's what I want to be when I grow up, I guess. So that was really a moment for me. And then in 2012, again, Leopolda Firenze Stone Island exhibits for their 30 years. And that was also something that really arrived to me, because I was like, okay, so they're exhibiting. There's like a museum part, there's an archive, there is a story. I remember going to La Leopolda with like some high school projects. I'm originally from Italy, close to Firenze. That became real, like the brand became real. Going onward for that, I really remember talking with a friend of mine, and he was like, okay, where can we buy some Stone Island? We had no money, no stores in the Italian province that were selling Stone Island, so he went to Firenze, where there was like a Stone Island store. I personally bought something on eBay, but I remember working and earning my first few pieces. Then Stone Island was with me all the years of my university to make do and make money. I used to go to like flea markets again in 2014, 15, 16, and buy Stone Island, buy CP Company, just because I liked it. And I was like, okay, if I like it and it's not my size, if I like it and it's not my color, I can always sell it. I remember finding steals for like 15, 20, 25 euros, and then of course selling my collection, buy new pieces. But it was always like a chill hobby, Facebook group and stuff like that. I was very into like, the processes, the labels, the history. Then on the Stone Island website, the idea of garment dye, the idea that every garment is unique. That was very interesting to me, and I felt really special. Then of course I had to sell a lot of my pieces because I was moving across Europe. I lived 1 year in China before, so I had to sell everything before going there. And then I sold everything else. So from that collection, basically nothing survived. I have to be honest with you guys, most jackets were either in poor condition, too big, too small. The whole thing was a mess. But overall, the passion was there. Then, moving forward to me living in Amsterdam, me working for CP Company, I was lucky enough to go through like a lot of brands, visit the Amsterdam store. I went through a few phases, buying stuff, finding steals. And I'm currently in the phase of slowly rebuilding my collection. I personally want to focus in pre-2000 pieces. By the way, I collaborated with Studio Archivio, this amazing page from Amsterdam, amazing guy. I'm gonna leave you the contact here. They do a lot of photo shoots, collaboration stuff, and they sell amazing pieces. So if you're in Europe, you want to buy something, you're looking for a good contact on Amsterdam, Studio Archivio is the way to go. So this is my story with the brand, and now we're gonna talk my collection and then some garments and some grails. Yeah. As I mentioned, my collection is a bit transitioning, so I currently do have weird pieces, but it's nice to discuss them. So number one is this 1996 vest, nylon body warmer. This is a double face, so actually also has like a blue side and has of course this green edge badge. I think it's really nice. Still 1996 was the last collection designed by Massimo Osti, so I think this is like a nice testament. You have like lampo zipper, high quality, load of details, lot of zips, and I actually bought this from the original owner, so that's fantastic. I think it's really versatile as a piece. This current material in the jacket version is actually present in the Stone Island Archivio book, so it's also super cool. In knitwear, I have 3 garments. I have this beautiful cotton sweater. This has like kind of like a German military inspired sweater. This is from 1997. You can see again, is inspired by uniform. And yeah, I mean, it's just like a cool layer, like waffle. I think the overall light colors really go well with Stone Island badge. And this is like a really nice versatile piece. I like the fact with vintage that everything is kind of unique and hard to get, especially in this good condition. Still, in terms of vintage, we have this chenille cardigan. Again, as you can see, I just have a few green edge badge, but overall, like behaving very well. This like has a button, clear nautical theme. You have like nautically inspired buttons. Massimo Osti was a lot about buttons, but overall chenille, nice cardigan, classic. Again, this is also from like 1994. Nice and soft is always nice to layer and have that unique feeling, especially with the green edge badge. In 1990s, we also have this like cotton sweater. This has the silver buttons that Stone used to use at the beginning. Nice badge, of course. In this case, I replaced it with like a modern one, oversized knit, and it's incredible that these pieces have like over 30 years old and they're still here with us. It's really a testament to the quality of Massimo Osti production. This is also an amazing piece. It's a 1995 scuba overshirt slash jacket. This beautiful cobalt blue, imagine, this is over 30 years old. It's amazing. They use like the same material that is used on scuba suit to keep the material perfect. Like there is no peeling, there is no, you know, like aging of the material, and it's just fantastic. Beautiful piece, overshirt, I love it. Then I have a bit more of a modern take, is this amazing pair of Stone Island per New Balance 991 version 2 made in UK. These are like the black on black version, is the second iteration, and overall just like a super solid pair of shoes, super minimal branding. You just have like the Stone Island here, the Stone Island on the slip here, and then on the bottom. I really like them. They're really versatile, super low key pair of shoes. Amazing piece. If you're talking accessories and other stuff which are like floating around the collection, I have 2 books. I have the Stone Island Archivio book. I'm showing you some images of it. And then I have the Stone Island Storybook, so one for the 30-year anniversary, one for the 40. I think it's incredibly nice if you like fashion to look into the archive. I personally use the Archivio book especially to browse for things I would love to know, verify things, legit check, and that's overall my collection. Tote bag, the Stone Island First Supreme tote bag. This is super rare from 2016, 2017. And that's also like an amazing piece. This is my collection. It's not a lot of things. I have to say I'm very picky because again, I live in Amsterdam, my home is small. So I'm just trying to keep what I really want. Every month, every 2 months, I get like maybe like a new coat. I'm gonna talk about it later, but then it doesn't fit me. It's the wrong material, it's cold, doesn't feel nice. And so I sell it on my Vinted. Let's talk about things that I sold in the past and then I regret selling or regrets in general. In my list, number 1, I have the vinyl cover 2003. This is the jacket that was worn by Charlie Aham, like by Pete in the movie Green Street Hooligans. This is a beautiful beige gray coat. This was always my Grail, an amazing jacket. I got one. I actually have it upstairs in my attic. It's too small for me. Jackets from that era are a bit hard to understand, but it's a large XL, but it's still too small for me. Also, the raso gommato inside is all cracking and has been removed. There is some spots. Usual example, never meet your heroes. This jacket unfortunately didn't live up to standard, and so I'm just gonna sell it. Then another regret is this beautiful orange Stone Island Kevlar from 2001. This is an amazing jacket. Again, crazy process from Paul Harvey. They decided to bond Kevlar and nylon in the jacket, creating this crazy paper-like effect. It's also available. That's the orange that you see in my YouTube channel. Follow me here. Amazing jacket. I had it for a little period, white badge, but it was cracking up so bad, like the inside, like the Kevlar is sticking off. So I tried to wear it a couple of times. Then I was like, no, okay, this is getting sticky. This is getting crumbly. I don't want to be losing orange pieces all over. So this, unfortunately, is also something that I had to sell. I sent it back. That's fine. And the third one, I would say maybe is this monofilament jacket. I bought this one in Firenze in 2016 or something at the market for like 35 euros. The concept is to create 2 different layers. So you have like the nylon and then a see-through membrane over the top, like this mesh. creates this beautiful kind of like shiny, metallic, but also different and delicate effect. I personally had to sell it because back then I wasn't feeling comfortable wearing this jacket and my personality wasn't out there enough. But I still miss it to this day, and that's a big, big, big regret, yes. If you're talking then to close this video about my Grails from Stone Island, things that I really have on my radar and I've been scouting for a while, we have 3/4. Number one is this blue Kevlar from 2001, amazing jacket. You can find, if you're lucky, online, blue condition. I found one for like 800 euros, a lot of money, but this is something that I've always wanted and I'm really gonna pull the switch. So yeah, amazing Kevlar, same concept as before, Kevlar and nylon, create this paper effect. I think in blue is killer and can be really like a statement piece, like the only go-to jacket for you. Then number two, we have hand-painted process. Again, these are hand-painted jackets. I think those are like from around 2007, 2008 or later. You have two versions. You have the camouflage version, which is super mega hard and super rare to find, or the burnt camouflage. That's a bit more present. They also done more recently version, I think 2014, 2015, with like sweaters and like painted badge. But I really like this idea of hand-painted jackets. I think I can make it work. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. And then number four, I have to talk about the ice jackets from the 1990s, especially the yellow and the red colorways. I think that's what speaks the most volume and quality about Stone Island. Crazy ice processes from the 1990s with like a lacquering, you know, with the liquid spheres. I'm not a fan of the liquid processes that were done more industrial later, but ice jackets from the 1990s are amazing. I was at the Osti Archivio 2 years ago and I saw them, and those are amazing, and those are really like final grade, okay, I quit kind of vibe. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to drink your water. I hope you had a nice insight and we can share more information in the comments about instead what's your Grail. Do you like Stone Island? Are you happy with the future of the brand? I personally think that right now Stone Island is kind of divided. You have modern Stone Island, which is like a luxury brand for people who want expensive clothing. That's not inherently bad, because that also means that the brand has money and resources to also do a part of the crazy high quality production. So that's not bad. I think that they deserve the recognition. And then of course you have all the vintage stuff. I think that's more for collectors, for enthusiasts, and to really start a conversation. If today I see somebody with a new Stone Island jacket, brand new, 2,000 euro puffer, I'm not gonna talk to them. But if instead I see somebody from like a Raso Gommato or like a Tela Stella jacket or whatever, I for sure more likely to instead start a conversation with them and get a good conversation going. So yeah, those are like the two souls of the brand. I'm not a hater. I still enjoy to see what's out there, and it still is an aspirational brand. I currently have included different brands and expanded my taste, but Stone Island really was at the core and still is an inspiration for me and for my style journey. Thank you for watching so far. Have a beautiful day, drink plenty of water, comment what you like, and otherwise I am out to enjoy my Sunday. Take good care of yourself. Love you. Bye.